Hi y'all, I'm the Jed. Today we're going to have some fun, courtesy of new Century BMW motorcycle in Alhambra, California. Let's do a quick walk around helmet cam style. This is a 2019 K1600 B with a premium package in a gorgeous blue color that I don't know the name of, but we'll find out. So I will tell you right off the bat, it is a nice, comfortable, low seat height. So if you are vertically challenged like the Jed, you're gonna like this bike. I'm flat-footed. I'm 5'9" with a 30-inch inseam, and I am as flat-footed as could be. We're going to start this up. It's a keyless ride with a nice big automotive style dash. We're in neutral, as you can see. We got 1 mile on this bike. We're in cruise mode, whatever that means. This is a heavy beast. We'll get the specs for you, but as low slung as it is, it's really nicely balanced. With this premium package, we should have the quick shifter. I think BMW calls it Shift Assist or Shift Assist Pro, and we do, and it's as smooth as silk. I think there's 2 different handlebar options on this, or at least there were. These are kind of pullback, almost drag style bars. They're nice and close for me. They might be a little close for somebody with longer arms than I've got, but it is a really nice neutral up and down riding position for me. I might like these bars a little higher, but I think you could probably rotate them. I've got to be a little careful with this engine, which is going to be hard to do because this is BMW's K engine, which is an inline 6-cylinder straight 6 that puts out 160 horsepower. So yeah, 160 horsepower on demand, and I want to say maybe 129 foot-pounds of torque or something like that. We'll get the specs. It's a big engine with a lot of power, and that quick shift is nice and smooth. I have that on my GS Adventure, but it is nowhere near as smooth a shift as it is on this bike. So let's talk about what this thing is. It's built on BMW's K platform, the K1600 platform now. So there's the K1600 GT, there's the K1600 GTL, and then there's the B, the K1600 B, like this one, and there's the K1600 Grand American, or Grand America. That is this bike with the top case in the back, permanently mounted, I believe. This bike, the B, is the bagger. It's much more low slung in the back than the GT and the GTL. It's got permanently affixed saddlebags in the back that are sleeker, I would say, but probably less practical than those on the GT or the GTL. I don't believe you can fit a full face helmet in one of those. I could be wrong, but they look a lot nicer. This thing, everybody compares it to a Goldwing, which is a proper comparison, but I would argue you could compare this to a Harley Davidson Road Glide as well. It's, you know, totally different platform, totally different engine specs, much higher revving, but much more powerful. But you could take this anywhere you'd want to ride a Road Glide, plus you could easily carve up a bunch of canyons on this bike. And you'd feel like you're on a cruise missile while you're doing it. It is, the feeling I'm getting from it is heavy and low and balanced. It's just a solid beast of a bike, and yet it feels to a degree flickable. We'll have to get the lean angle specs on it too. So with the Premier package or premium package on this bike, I mentioned the quick shifter. You get pretty much every luxury feature you would want in a touring bike, in a bagger. You've got heated seats, heated grips. You've got cruise control, radio that's of course Bluetoothable to your helmet. And then from a safety perspective, you've got incredible linked ABS that's lean angle sensitive. You've got lean angle sensitive traction control. You've got rider modes. I believe it's cruise, road, rain. I'm not sure if there's a dynamic mode on here. Let's see. I believe it's also adjustable on the fly, or maybe not. Oh yeah, there's dynamic. Hill assist as well. I believe also integrated locks on the saddlebags, and that is nice. Here's a little bit of a turn. I've got torque on demand in this gear, in third gear. I imagine you could do a whole lot of riding in third gear on this bike. I believe you get a 7-gallon gas tank with this, and the mileage ought to be around 40. So that gives you a nice long range for this bike. Oh, let's see. We've also got electronic or electrically adjustable windscreen. I'm pulling mine up now. Even in the high setting, looks like you're looking well over the top of the screen. I'm not going to be able to try it on the highway today, but at least at a little bit of speed on city roads, I'm in a nice wind bubble here. I've got no buffeting on my head. I've heard others talk about at high speeds, sort of a suction effect in the cockpit, pulling your back in a bit. I'm not feeling any of that, but I'm probably not going anywhere near fast enough to experience that if it exists. I've got my GPS unit in this bike. It doesn't come with one, although I think there's some specials right now in the 2019s where you might actually get a brand new BMW Navigator unit with the bike. Interesting. These are nice big brakes, and they do an adequate job of stopping this. Coming off the GS Adventure, you can definitely feel the weight of this bike as you're trying to slow it down. This thing has forward floorboards as well, which give you a very Harley-esque feeling, but you can't shift from these floorboards. So my perspective on this is, having ridden and owned a Road King for a number of years, a BMW RT for a number of years, a K1600 GTL, and now riding the R1200 GS Adventure. All different bikes. Comparing this to the GTL, I would say it's not as nimble as the GTL in feeling. It's probably due entirely to the ride position. You're just leaned back a little more, I guess. Which is okay. You know, the trade-off is, for me, it's a bit more comfortable and it's just a little more fun. I think this is a gorgeous bike, by the way, particularly in this color. Would I buy one of these? I think at this point in my life, I would, over a GTL, but I'm not planning on doing any cross-country tours. You know, I'm maybe a 1,500 mile touring prospect, but for anything but that long a tour, I just think this is a more usable bike for me. See if I can find the kickstand. Well, it leans over on that side stand. Let's get some of the specs on this bike. As I mentioned, it's an inline 6-cylinder 4-stroke engine. Puts out a whopping 160 horsepower at the crank and 129.1 foot-pounds of torque. Top speed is 124.3 miles per hour. It's obviously fuel injected, double overhead cams, dry sump. It's got a 6-speed gearbox. This one has the quick shift on it, so you can shift up and down without the clutch. Like many BMWs, it's a shaft drive. Fuel tank capacity is 5.7 liters, which I believe is about 7 gallons, with a claimed 41.27 miles per gallon. Rake is 27.8 degrees. It's got the paralever rear suspension and the dual lever front suspension, like many BMWs. Front tire in this is a 120/70 ZR17. Rear is a 190/55 ZR17. Dual disc up front with 4-piston calipers, 320 millimeter. Wet weight is 740.8 pounds. Seat height on this is 29.5 inches, and I can affirm that I'm able to flat foot it with my 30-inch inseam. It's adjustable, by the way, higher. I think you can take it up to 30.7 inches. The color for this one is Imperial Blue Metallic. The other option is Black Storm Metallic. I can tell you, this is a great color. Let's get some of the goodies. There's those 320 millimeters up front. Here's the floorboards I was talking about, and they fold away, I think. Yep. How exactly you get that to stay, I don't know at this point. It's also got fog lights, which I can't try in this daylight. Here's your saddle bags. Let's see if they're
open. Lots of room in there, but I don't see any way you'd get a full face or even a smaller helmet. We'll have to ask, but I don't think so. Really kind of cool LED lights in the back. Giant chrome tailpipes, which are not exactly my thing. But what makes up for them is the black frame and black engine, which I think is fantastic. Here's your headlights. There's twin LED rings and an adaptive xenon headlight that will actually move with you as you turn to light up around the corners. Nice body work. There's that massive chrome tailpipe. You got two of those. All right.